So the assertion and all, we discussed the flow, how the circle of trust has been created. Okay, so today we will test it with one of the application, and let's see. I'll show you how the assertion looks like. Okay, when we authenticate, how this assertion got performed. Okay, so we discussed all this flow yesterday. So now today we will perform the practical application of it. Okay, so now. Yesterday, I have created one IDP and one service provider. So IDP is the ForgeRock, right? So if I show you again, you can create give any name. I've just given the ForgeRock, right? So you should have this name ID format list, persistent, transient, and all name ID value map, right? Here, mapper authentication context, assertion processing, attribute mapper, and everything. Okay, so once you create it over here, this service is this meta alias ITP. We have artificial resolution service, right? Single logout. So I'll come to the binding. What is that redirect binding, post binding, right? And everything, name ID. So these are the by default, whenever you create, these are the by default mappings have been done by them, right? You don't need to do until you are required to do any changes. Okay. So and this is the IDP URL for this meta-alias, right? So this is by default, once you create it, they all edit it automatically onto your IDP. Okay. So, and we have created one service provider, Google.com with a name. You can get anyone. So I just created with the one here. Entity ID could be anything. You can give the URL, you can give the single word name on anything. It's up to you what entity ID you want to give, right? So these are things. So name ID here, the name ID format list we have given. So we have given the transient. So I'll tell you what the transient is. So transient to name ID format we give basically for to give the limited user information in the assertion. Okay, I'll test it right now and I'll show it to you. I'm just showing you all the attributes over here, authentication, context, match, and everything. So this is the SP we have created. Services, if I go to, you'll see this Google Meta alias, this single logout service, name ID service, assertion consumer service. So here, this is assertion consumer service. So what does it mean basically? So where, when you read authenticate the application, right? So which application would be single sign? Okay, that the application you give your name over here, right? So this one, right, is default false, right? And I given binding and location. I'll create a new one as well. I just created this for testing application. So I have given the predefined binding and given the HTTP post and the location is alive.js. Okay, you can change the URL over here as well. And I have updated it, right? So this will be the application where it will be single sign. I will give this location out there. Okay, so we have done any changes. If we do the save changes, right? Then and go to advanced. This is a SP URL they have. Okay, so and everything like they have another proxy. The all are the by default things. Okay, so now once you create it, right, now we have to test it. How we have created IDP, we have created the SP. So these are the two requirements to create a to perform the single sign-on, because IDP will authenticate the user, and then they create the assertion and to the SP, and SP will then check the assertion. So what's the assertion? So create a circle of trust. We need to have this entity ID in our circle of trust as well. So this is a circle of trust. This have our this ForgeRock and Google.com as our both entity ID are present in this circle of trust we have created, right? So now how we will test this one? Main question. So for test this one, we have this URL. Okay, we have this URL. This one where as you start with our, obviously with our ForgeRock access ID means ForgeRock URL, and then from SAML to JSP IDP single sign on init.jsp. So this is a page where this is a URL which hits our service provider entity ID. So we are giving this meta alias IDP, which is the meta alias becoming the ForgeRock one. So where it's the identity provider, and give the SP entity ID, which SP we want to have a single authenticate the single sign-on. From where this one, where I copied it, this one I copied it from, if you noticed over here and go to services, this meta alias. So this one I have created when I given the initially the meta alias name. You can give anything. It's up to you. You can give slash ForgeRock or anything, right? So this meta alias we have given, and I'm using this IDP. So when I hit this URL and I have tried to an SP entity ID, so single provider entity ID. So what with the single provider entity ID? This is the google.com. So this is the entity ID. So this will be the SP entity ID. So this identity provider we have given, which give the assertion to the for this service provider. Okay, now how I will test it. So now I have created the URL on the basis of the application, on the basis of the this SR entity provider I have created. So all this any application you get, they all call it entity provider, right? It could be hosted and remote. So hosted is you created you from UI, right? From remote is basically is the XML file. Okay, so here we just put a XML file and it will create like this hosted. So whatever you create, I'll create one from my XML file as well to show you. But currently we are testing with the hosted one, right? So this one. So he's saying hosted. So if I create from the XML, if I have a XML file and upload it, then it shows as a remote one. But now currently we are testing with hosted one. So we'll continue the testing with hosted one. Okay. So these two applications we have, right? So this one now I will try to test it. Okay. So for before that one, we need to see our SAML assertion. So for SAML assertion, what you will do, you will include a plugin, download a plugin which is called a SAML Tracer. So this is a SAML Tracer. So whatever request you hit, it will save your request over here. Okay, you can easily download it from. You can just write it SAML Tracer. Download SAML Tracer for Firefox, and it will be just you can click on it and download it. Right, is I've already downloaded, so it's showing remove, so you can easily download. It will come as your plugin, and once it's plugin, you can just click it over here. It's open. So see, whatever I hits, it's create all the SAML links over there. But we can clear it. Okay, so now if I hit with my URL. So see, I've given this URL is a live.jsp, so server is a live showing. So that means it hits the my given URL for single sign-on. And if I see now my SAML extension, you see this post over here, right? So this get that has been hit, I have this one and this post. And if I click on this post, you will see these parameters HTTP that have been hit and everything, these parameters over the SAML response post request, right? And then you will see the SAML. So this is the assertion that what I was talking about. This is a SAML response you will get in the form of assertion. This whole response is called the assertion. Okay, that's what I was talking about. Like this entity provider provides assertion for this SAML to sign in, right? So that's the assertion they have. So if you see the response they have created, what is the destination, means what's the application you need to sign on. It will be the isalive.jsp that we have given. So we can change it as well. I'll show you. I'll give some other and we will test. So what will the issuer? Who is the issuer of this assertion? The ForgeRock, right? Because who is the ForgeRock? IDP we have given, right? So if I show you over here, sorry, so this is a ForgeRock. So this is the issuer because this is this IDP issuing this assertion. Okay, SAML success, and this is an assertion they have created. Same SAML ForgeRock they have created. This is a format of the assertion, digest method, what's algorithm they have been using and everything. What will be the signature value of this assertion? What certificate they're using? All this one, right? And now what's the name ID? So name ID format we have given the transient. So this is from where it's coming. if I go to the google.com and if I show you this name ID format from there where it's picking this transient. Okay, name qualifier ForgeRock SP confirm google.com. So not before. So all this is the assertion that they have to. What is the audience that SP name, the google.com. So by default, other are then the default informations of the session index assertion. So this is the SAML response. Once you get this SAML response, it means you have been, your assertion is being diverted to the service provider and he can able to log in. If there is any issue, you won't see this SAML response or it will be some kind of any error, right? Even if I show you something for error, like if I remove this, let me see, remove this transient. Okay, let me save it. And I'll remove this one. Yeah, and I save this one. Okay, now if I test this one, let's see if I get error. So here is post, right? So now let me hit that again. So it's saying me server error, right? Because it's not matching the conditions. Now it will required. So if I show you the request, now it's given red, and you will see I'm not receiving any assertion because we have a now error. So that URL that we're given, because our configurations are not correct. So that's why it's giving me the error. Earlier, if you see my post, this one, on this one, it's saying the SAML saying assertion they are giving me over here, right? So if I correct it again, name ID format. So this one. So if I hit it again, and if I go to my SAML one again, so if you see this one, I'm getting it again, right? This version I'm getting. So once you get this immersion, means your SAML is application is flow is working for that service provider, right? So and what is this basically? This transient, actually I have it in my notes. So this is what type of a federated identity. This is called a transient federation. So where identity provider can choose to communicate with a minimum information about an authenticated user. So with no account maintained. So this is called a transient federation. This is what we have included for the user. This is called the transient federation. So the identity provider can to which provide the minimum information. If you see the assertion, you will see it's a very less record about the user, right? So that's why I call the transient federation for this one, right? Okay. So any question on like how we are tested it, what's the assertion look like? So what's this thing? So any question till now for this one?
So, can I start my mission, Pranay?
Okay, you want to test it on your machine, you're saying?
Yes,
Okay, sure. I can try. We can try. I need to tell a couple of few things more. So I need to tell the session bindings. Okay, share your screen. I'll help you to. Then once we test it, I'll show you that there's different bindings.
sure,
Okay, so
sure.
that's okay. Yeah.
Just a minute, Pranay. Uh,
So did you understood, right? So till now, I want to know, like, you
yeah, a
did it.
little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Instead of Google, can I give Salesforce.com?
Yeah, you can give anything.
Yeah, okay, just a minute. Let me share my screen. Can you give me the permissions, please?
Okay, yes, sure. Okay, before that, I want to show one thing. You can try we can test it, right? So let me complete the because I guess it's
Sure,
take.
sure. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just tell about these bindings I want to tell because I want to continue it. So that's a part of it, right? So what are these assertion bindings basically? First, and you can test it, right? So first the session binding. So we have tested like currently what we have shown is a post binding, right? So they are what are the so it's a binding. So what the binding refer to, like which SAML protocol we are using, like the message has been transported between various parties. So which protocol they are using. So in SAML there are three type of bindings you can use, right? To transmit the messages between the identity provider and service provider, right? First type of binding is post binding. Second is redirect binding. Third is the artifact binding, right? Mostly post and redirect binding are kind of little same, right? They have same sense of messages. And the third is the artifact binding, right? So what is the post binding? So what we have currently just tested, that we have tested the post binding that commonly used for sending SAML assertions, right? That I just showed you. Okay, from identity provider to the service provider, right? So if you see in my application here, when I was showing you their services, right? And where I showed you this binding post one, right? So this is the post. So we have tested the post binding, right? So because to the service, the why when it's used, when the form is submitted, we are like a SAML messages to using a. Okay, I'll just use copy the definition. But here when we need to send a SAML message, right, to full form in a assertion, which is XML format or HTML format, right, to using an HTTP post request. So what's the advantages of the data is sent in body post where the binding can handle a large amount of data, right? uh, Large amount of data when we need to send for the user, like which of assertions we need to send the certificate signatures value and all the responses, right, to the service provider, right? So then we can use the post binding, right? And what is the redirect binding? The redirect binding basically also using the same is suitable type used for SAML authentication request from service provider to identity provider, right? It's when we use the redirect binding when data is not too large, so the entire message is passed in URL. So that's the redirect binding. So we need to redirect the authentication request to the from service provider to the identity provider. Okay. And what is the third one? Third one is the okay. Here is the artifact binding. So what's the artifact binding? So where SAML message is too large, means even it's large, too large or sensitive, or we don't need to show all these details, right? So like we have showing all these details, right? Somehow if our SP user or SP owner single any application or say I don't want to show these details in on this SAML tracer or something, right? They can come up like I don't want to show this, who is the issuer and everything. Some applications are really case sensitive, really sensitive applications, right? Like banking application or any internal banking application. So they don't want to show these details, like who is the issuer. So that will be could be vulnerable to any hacker or something, right? If they have any information, they keep on trying and fetch any small details, and that could be potential risks for the any banking application, right? So what we do they ask then for that kind of applications we use this assertion artifact binding, right? So here I have written, so instead of sending the full SAML message, they send a reference token that called the artifact, right? I'll show you right now. So the receiving party then uses the artifact to retrieve the actual message. They use the artifact to retrieve the advantage is like provide more security by not exposing that what I'm telling, by not exposing the full SAML message in the URL, and also useful when you have very small some large messages, right? Currently it's a small assertion. It could be like hi, so they could ask us to sign your authentication request, encrypt your authentication. They could ask us to do a lot of things, right? Then that's our assertion become bigger and bigger and bigger. So to keep it minimum we can use the artifact as well binding. So if I go over here and if I come and change the artifact binding, and I'll update it, right? So now earlier I was using post. Now if you see, I'm using the artifact. Keep a note of it right now. So we currently have this assertion, right? Uh, right, this one coming. Now I'm hitting this URL again. So I'm this hitting this URL again. Okay. Now let me show into this one. Just extra second. Did I save the changes? Services. Oh, no, I didn't save the change. So artifact, update, save. I can now, I'll hit it again. Now, if you see this one I hit, right? This one I hit now, and after that I get results. So see, I didn't get any SAML full one. Right now it's giving me SAML artifact. Give me the some unique ID now. So it works. It's still working. The SAML application is still working, but instead of giving me this instead of giving me where's it giving me this SAML, now it's giving me only the artifact ID, right? So it's hiding all the assertion information, right? So that is called as SAML artifact. That's what I was talking about. So it's used giving the full, instead of full SAML message, it's give the small reference token called the artifact. So it could be the artifact binding. When I showed you this diagram, right? So authentic user includes assertion, right? So this artifact ID or the assertion, right? So this inside the artifact ID. So this IDP. So either it uses the, if you use the HTTP post, it give you the full SAML message, that is the assertion in the XML form. If you are using the artifact, it's using the give the artifact ID. That is kind of a token over here. So here also means your SAML application is working fine. Okay. So this I wanted to tell for the continued testing. So that's how we kind of test it with this one. So with this URL, which saying this IDP single sign-on init.jsp. If you want to see where this page comes, right? So if you see where this all these JSP kind of links over there, if I show you, it's little deep we need to go. Uh, so um, if I show, yeah. So if you go into the here Apache Tomcat, and if you go to the web apps, right? So IAM 7.40, and then you will see all this folder, right? So if you go to the SAML or 2, SAML 2 and JSP, so you will see this lot of JSP pages. So I'm using one of the this one of the IDP associated JSP over here. So this one. If you want to dig deeper or get one more information about this, right? So if you see this generally when I hit this one, so hit it this JSP page would help uh, us to test my application. So this is in the internal code. If you want, you can look at it, but this is what we are generally hitting on this one. Processing request, return, anything like that. You can't update anything because their internal page, so what they are using. If you want to have more if you just want to read the code, what's the SAML, this link is metalius like they're using, right? We have given over here SP entity ID, right? So name, ID, policy, and everything what they checks, what the requirement basically. So basically I'm hitting this one. Oh, DPUs and whatever any JSP page you hit, right? So you can easily, so if you see other one also, so like SAML to or to consumer.jsp, if you go to the application right here. If you see any other JSP page like advanced, SAML to auth consumer assertion, consumer to auth assertion. I've seen this one before. Dot JSP. I guess we have removed it, but if you go and create any, here, if you go advanced, this is services. Create a new one. If you see this consumer one, right? So, which any for any consumer once it will hit this SAML to assertion consumer.jsp file. And the same way we have for a single logout, if you want to SLO, there are two types. Like we do what we are currently testing it, single sign-on, and there's also single logout. So because if you log out from your system or something, so it will log out your applications, say, all your singles, like a single sign-on. It's also a single logout. So if you like do the single sign-on with your application, right, it could be also single logout as well. If you can log in with them for a multiple applications with a single set of credentials, so you could also log out once you log out your main application, that then you can also be log out from all your single sign-on application as well. So that is called the single SLO. That's called the single logout. Yeah, I guess I'll see if I'm able to test it. So this is like they are using internally. If you want to go a little more deeper, okay. So yeah, so this is currently a first testing we have done with the hosting. So I'll show you with the remote one as well, and with a couple of things. So do you want to test it till now? What we have tested? Yeah.
Yes, Pranay.
Yeah. First, do you have any questions? You understand it before you
No,
test?
Pranay. First, I can do the practical and then we'll see.
Okay. Yeah. So basically the ID first is was the IDP. So what if you see my URL over here? So I have tested the IDP single sign-on, right? So what's the difference over here is where IDP initiated this login request, right? Authentication request where I'm using this meta alias. And then there is the single, if you see my this another URL, which is single SP initiate single sign-on initiated, right? So where the SP has been a single as service provider initiated the request of for the user to want to access. So main difference is here IDP will initiate your single SAML single sign-on process. Here SP will initiate the single sign-on process. What we have currently tested that the IDP initiated single sign-on. So that's the difference between these two. You got the point?
Okay, Pranay.
Okay, so I'll also come to this one when we test this one. Currently, I'm showing you testing with the IDP initiated, right? So this IDP means when you are logged in, right? So it will you will application that will log into their ForgeRock dashboard, and then once you logged into your ForgeRock, then it will be asked to you to the go to that application, right? So means you have to authenticate with your ForgeRock first, because once you test with URL, you need to log in into the single sign-on, right? So that's the IDP initiated authentication works, where the SP initiated access open when a user tried to access that application SP but hasn't been authenticated by the IDP yet, right? So if user has no active browser session, then a single provider will redirect them to the IDP to request the authentication. And then the IDP will authenticate the user and create a SAML assertion. So What's the major difference is once you hit right this IDP initiated, first it will ask you to sign in to the ForgeRock. Once with your ForgeRock console, which we are currently doing, right? If not, then if a single has been initiated, like user try to access the application first, right? Then he has been redirected to the IDP. He has to be authenticate via IDP at any case, but what will the who will initiate it, right? So here IDP is getting it. If somebody asks you what's the difference, you just calmly say like this is the IDP initiated, like IDP first user has to go through the IDP and then through all the SAML process work. And for the SP initiated, then user first try to access the application. If he has any active session, then fine. If not, then he will redirect to the IDP to request the authentication, right? Yeah, right. So first you need to create a IDP and the service provider.
So can I create add circle of trust?
Yeah, you can create first circle of trust, anything.
Okay.
You can give any name as it's not any makes any difference to it. Give any name you want. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now currently that's fine. You need to create the entities. Then those entities we need to add in a circle of trust. So
SML to
go to the entity provider. Yeah.
entity provider. Okay. These are all details not required.
Yeah, no, not yet. So basically, you can add the description. What is the what the circle of trust? It's up to you. For which purpose, any description you want to add, you can add. Status should be active. That is currently here. Entity provider URL and SAML to writer service URL. It will, I guess, not anything required for it. Click on
Okay.
it. What they are saying. What's the definition of it? You can read it.
So can I
Yeah,
go
go
to entity providers?
the entity providers. Right. Go then
Okay.
and go to the yeah, this one hosted.
Okay.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So here you need to
This entity ID means this is the IDP side or SP side.
this one it will decide in next meta alias. So when you create it, right? If you put meta aliases in identity provider, it will be created at identity provider side. If you over here I'm saying so if you create a um, so if you create a here meta alias, so if you add meta alias over here, then it will be identity provider side. If you create add a meta alias over here, then it will be service provider SP
Oh,
side.
I see. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah. What can I give here? Entity ID.
Give anything. You are saying salesforce.com, you can give the salesforce.com
Okay.
and give the alias name. So this one you want to create a service provider, right?
Okay. Salesforce is the service provider. Is it correct?
Yeah, Salesforce is a service provider, right?
Okay. All right. Okay. So can I create IDP side here?
No, no, you need to create a, you're creating service, so you need to get a service provider. Yeah, yeah. You need
Okay.
to give the alias over here. You can give any alias like slash Salesforce,
Okay.
right? And give the circle of trust name because you have a created a circle of trust. Select the circle of trust, so that entity ID will be created over there. Yeah,
Okay.
and create
So
it.
can I create here?
Yeah, create it.
So in this case, entity ID, can I remove .com? This is a unique
It's up
ID.
to you. It's up to you. You can put any names. It can put
Okay.
salesforce.com. You can put any normal string as well. That's fine. This is
Yeah.
also fine.
Okay. Okay. All right.
This is
So can I
also
create?
yeah, create.
Okay.
Scroll down. Scroll down, come to the name ID format. We need to make it the transient for now for initial testing. So you have the see we have a multiple name ID format, which is the persistent, transient, email address, unspecified, right? Just delete all, keep only transient over here.
Can I delete all?
No, delete all instead second part only.
This one?
No, we need to keep it. You can delete except all others.
Okay. Can I delete 3, 4, 5, 6, 7?
Yeah, you can delete it.
Okay.
Delete the first one as well.
Persistence also?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, scroll down. That's fine. Save it. Save at the end.
What is the transient means?
Transient. This is the kind of federation. So like these are the earlier we have the persistent federation, transient federation. So currently what we are testing, we are currently testing with our is the transient federation. So
Okay.
what is done? So it is I provide a minimum information about the authenticated user. So when we have to give the minimum information about the authenticated user in our assertions and all, so we use the transient federation.
Okay. So change is done. Okay.
Yeah, go above. And now go to the second tab.
Assertion processing. Okay.
And it's fine. Go scroll down. Yeah, that's why here I don't we need to do any change. Go to the next tab, services.
Services. Okay.
Yes. So here we have this meta alias. Let's slash contractor. Okay, it give double slash Salesforce. Okay, that's why we'll see if we get any error. Scroll down. Yeah, okay, here assertion consumer. Scroll down. Yeah, this one. Can you delete the second and third?
Assertion consumer service. Can I delete
Yeah,
second and
delete the
third?
second and third ones. Yeah, delete it because we'll use.
Okay.
Edit the first one. Click on edit, and here at the location first let's test with the post binding. So if you see predefined binding, make it the http post.
Okay.
No, scroll
Predefined
down.
mode.
Yeah,
HTTP
here,
post.
make
Okay.
it
Post
post
request. Okay.
and change the location, any location if you want to give.
Change the location means.
Means for which application you want to do the single sign.
Okay. Can I go to salesforce.com?
Yeah, you can try that. Yeah, it depends. I don't know how much it's required. If it's a very
Okay.
large, then maybe we can get a issue. Then we use to artifact, but that's fine. You can use it. Yeah.
So can I give here?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Update. Make it the index one. Let make in the index value one. Yeah. One. Yeah. Update it.
Okay.
Now, yeah, save the changes. Scroll down to save it. Yeah. Now
Okay.
we need to create. Now we have created one service provider. Now you need to create one IDP.
Okay.
There
So
is
we have.
one mistake I guess we do if you see contractor slash Salesforce we have.
Yeah, yeah. That's what my here, right?
I'm not sure. I'm not, let's see if we get error due to that. Otherwise, we'll create a new one again. But let it keep it here. Go and create the IDP first. Yeah. So we need to create the identity provider. Yeah.
So circle of trust.
No, entity provider.
Okay.
Host it. Give any entity ID. You can give ForgeRock. The IDP because IDP we are using currently is ForgeRock. So yeah. Identity provider ForgeRock you will give. Yeah.
Can I give slash?
No, you don't give slash because already have slash. So that's what we did mistake last time. We give slash. So okay, add into the circle of trust.
Create.
Create. Yeah.
Okay.
So here,
So can I delete third, fourth email
no, here
address?
we can keep all this. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, because IDP, right? So here we can keep all this. That's fine.
Okay. Can I
Mm,
save changes or
yes.
nothing is
So
there
for
here? Nothing changing.
these, I
Yeah.
guess we don't need any changes for this one particularly because it has all the default one will work for us. And go to, I just want to see this, go to the services tab once. Yeah.
Services tab. Okay.
Yeah, slash contractor slash ForgeRock, right? So can you, okay, slash contractor slash ForgeRock. Okay, that's fine. Can you copy this meta alias into your notepad?
Which one? Meta alias.
Into a notepad value, the value slash contractor slash ForgeRock, that one. No, 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 yeah, not this one. Go above, go above.
This one.
No, no, meta alias at the start. Go above, go above. Yeah, this
Okay. Meta
value.
alias. Okay.
Copy that into your notepad because we need to use it.
Not bad.
Okay. Yeah, and give, okay, I'll give you the URL. Let's see for the so, okay, I'll make you the I'm going to make you the host. Okay, I'll make you host. You can copy the you can copy it, right? Okay, yeah. Copy it. Here after meta alias instead of slash IDP add the contractor IDP. Yeah. And okay, I'll do this. We have to do this one as well.
Okay.
And in meta alias,
Okay.
instead of slash IDP, give this slash contractor slash ForgeRock.
Uh,
This first line you need to copy and copy
where can
and
I paste?
instead of slash IDP.
Here.
Yeah, here.
Complete.
No, no, only slash IDP.
Okay.
And you need to change the entity ID to google.com to the salesforce.com. So what entity ID we are going to test, right? So we are going to test the salesforce.com, right? Hmm. No, copy it from there. The spelling is different over there. I guess it's SLE you have written in your. Not here, not here. Go to your ForgeRock one. Copy from there. Go to your ForgeRock console.
Jog. Or jog. This is fine, right?
Mm,
Uh,
Go to ForgeRock console where you have created the.
yep.
No, no, not this one. This is the where you would like to single sign on. You need to give the SP entity ID, right? Go to the entity provider. Copy this one.
Okay. Entity ID, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
and yeah, and
Can I hit?
yeah.
Here we have a Google Tracer is there, right?
Um, does your SAML Tracer working also on incognito? You have in hitting where Google Chrome or?
Google Chrome only in incognito window.
Does SAML Tracer is taking the from incognito window that I want to see?
I
Go to
don't know
SAML
actually.
Tracer. Your SAML Tracer, does it go to your notification three pin? Mm, can you hit over here? Hit instead of here, hit here, yeah. So it will take, yeah. Hit it.
SAML
Yeah,
tracer required, right?
yeah, SAML Tracer, you need to keep login, yeah. Hit it. You're already logged in, so it won't ask you to log in. That is what you're doing, yeah. Yes, so it's giving you, right? So wait a minute, don't hit it yet. So you're asking that, so what's the IDP initiated signals difference? So this is the IDP. First, IDP is initiating because it asks the user to authenticate to the IDP first. So now you can log into the new site. Yes, log into the new site. Click on that one. So you are able to log in over here, right? Right. So as you see, from that one you are able to trying to use and tell. It may be because the picture is very large, so but you are able to hit that URL, right? So now you see your SAML page, SAML tracer. Go to your SAML tracer. Don't open it from here. That will create a new one.
Can
Now
I
you
do it?
no no you must
Okay.
have opened few.
But here not there, right? That's what my
No, it is
oh
there.
okay, okay. Is there.
Yeah, you have opened multiple, I guess. So
I think
scroll down, which is the
yeah.
latest. Scroll down. Scroll down to the last. It will give the URL as well. Yes, post. Now scroll down. Do one thing. Cancel all. You can hit the URL again. That's fine.
It's the URL.
Cancel all the SAML one first. Yeah, whatever
Okay.
SAMLs are SAML application, SAML tracer open. Right? Close all of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can
you
I
have
hit?
closed all of them. Open only one.
Okay.
Can you? Okay, only one open. Right now, hit the URL again. Not this one, not this one. You need to hit the your IDP URL that we are currently testing. Go back to the SAML tracer first. Clear all the URLs. Yeah, clear all these URL. There's a clear option if you see. Yeah, clear this.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let it be. Go to the URL from the testing URL. Yeah, copy this one. And now go to your SAML tracer. Yeah, scroll down. Let it be, let it be. Scroll up little, scroll up little. So scroll up. There is only put over there. Put one. Scroll up. Post, yeah. And click. Yeah,
This
this one, right.
uh,
Now see the SAML. Go to the third one inside SAML. Yeah. So you can see here. So which one you get? This is the assertion you got, right? And this is a ForgeRock, who is the issuer? ForgeRock is the issuer because the IDP you have created with ForgeRock name, right? And the assertion is created for this one, SAML Tracer. And scroll down. So is this a signed information? All this certificate has been generated for this one is a name ID format, right? And name qualifier we have used, which is a service provider name qualifier.com. You use salesforce.com, right? Hmm. Transient name ID, so it's not giving any user information, right? So it's keeping the user information hide. So all this, so this is the assertion that we are getting. So you're able to hit to the SAML one, right? So now this is you have done tested the post binding, right?
yeah.
And now the same way you can test the HTTP redirect, HTTP artifact binding. Now, if you go to your application, change the binding, only change the binding from post to artifact.
Mm, in IDB side, right?
No, no, no. In this is will be in a sale is this side, service provider side. Go to services. Federation. Entity providers. Yeah.
Sales.
Salesforce.com. And go to the services. Services. That's fine. You don't need to any change. Go to services. Scroll down. No, no. Scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll down. Come to the insertion consumer service. Yeah. No, no. Scroll down. Scroll down. Yeah. Here. You need to change here. No, you need to change the value. Go to the you need to edit the first one.
This one,
Yeah, this one.
post binding.
You
Okay.
need update it to the artifact.
Okay. What is the difference between these two?
Yeah, so difference basically differences between two is the post binding is basically when you are testing, right? So it's sending the SAML assertions that we are just tested, right?
Okay.
So basically, when we want to send in a HTML format or like XML format message to the identity provider, right? That was the post request, right? Can handle a large amount of data and all, but somehow now artifact binding. What the difference of artifact binding? And you see in post binding, we see the all the details as well. Who's the issuer? What the certificate has been implemented, right? And what's the service provider qualifier name and when it got assertion and right all this information, right? So but in post binding we get all this information assertion, we can anyone can easily see it, right? Any another user who is testing that can get the SAML tracer and see what I'm getting in SAML tracer like you did just now. So, but what artifact binding will do, artifact binding will hide all full assertion. It will not send the assertion, it will just send the token instead of full assertion. So the
Okay.
same SAML application will work, single sign-on flow will work, but instead of giving all this assertion, it just gives the token ID. So if it receives the token ID, that confirms your SAML application is working fine. So there is a two-way to do it. Right? It depends upon which way the client wants. If we say no, I want the assertion, I will use it for my purpose, then we will give him this. If we say no, I don't need the assertion back to me, I just need a signing from the IDP, give me the ID token, that will be enough for me. So we'll give the artifact binding. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Now if you test it, you will see the token would be generated instead of assertion. Now, did you save it first? Did you save it after
Yeah.
changing?
Changes saved.
Okay. And you click the save changes at the end, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's fine. So now hit it.
Can I clear?
You need to complete the full, I guess you haven't done. Now, if you see, what the response, go back first, go back to the after hitting. I want to see, did you see the URL or something? Fine, right? Yeah, so you are able to see above first going before going, if you see the SAML art, right? In your login, you receive the SAML artifact. It is SAML artifact. And this is the token ID you are getting, right? And go back. And now here you also you will see the yeah, in this one, SAML one, red and orange, right? Anything you can. So instead now this one is like saying, okay, so here is you say click on the go above, click on above one, click on the above one. Yeah. So if you see over here, earlier you are getting whole full XML format. Now it's just
Yes, yes, correct.
source ID and nothing else. So this also confirms your SAML application is working fine, but it will not give you the assertion, right, with all those details. So that's the difference between post binding and artifact binding. The post binding will give you all the details, the assertion and everything, and artifact will give you the response code. And basically, when we have a large assertion and you don't want to share those details as well, so we could use the artifact type binding instead of post binding.
Yes, Pranay.
Okay, got it.
Got it.